Hello, this is Craig Mitchell, your personal mortgage consultant for life. And this video that you're going to watch today is an excerpt from one of my first-time homebuyer seminars. So if you're a first-time homebuyer, this is information you definitely need to know. And even if you're not a first-time homebuyer, I can almost guarantee that most of the information will be new to you, so you can definitely benefit by watching it. If you do have any questions or comments after watching the video, please email me or call me, and my contact information will be provided at the end of the video. So what we're going to cover today is how to boost your credit score by more than 121 points in as little as 45 days, which will save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over the life of your loan. Because as everyone knows, the higher your credit score, the lower the interest rate you get on your loan. And many people don't even qualify to buy a house because their credit score is too low. So if you don't think you can buy a house because your credit score is not good enough, then be sure to take some good notes, because I'm going to show you how you can own a home in just a few short months regardless of your credit. And if your credit is decent, I'm going to show you how to make it excellent so you can qualify for a better interest rate and save a ton of money on your monthly payments. Now this is probably my favorite part of my job, and that's helping people who have been turned down by other companies, people with bad credit, people who don't think there's any chance that they can buy a home because their credit's not very good. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that anyone with a job and a pulse can buy a home. So if you're alive and you have income, whether it's a job or Social Security or some type of documentable income, I can get you into a home guaranteed. Now if your credit score is over 700, then this stuff may not apply to you, but everyone knows someone with less than perfect credit. So if it doesn't apply to you, be sure to forward it on to someone who may benefit from it. Now there are three primary things that determine your credit score: how much bad credit you have, how much good credit you have, and how much debt you have. Now there are different degrees of bad credit. For example, a collection that's 10 years old is not nearly as bad as a late credit card payment that occurred last month. So there are different degrees of credit, but essentially we're dealing with good credit, bad credit, and the amount of debt you have, and that's it. Now your credit score can range from 350 on the low end up to 900 on the high end. The average credit score is a 680. So if your score is below 680, you're below average, and if it's above 680, then you're above average. If your credit score is below 680, then listen up. This is going to help you save a ton of money. Alright, so let's get right to it. How do we increase your credit score? Well, there's only three ways to do it. 1, we build good credit. 2, we get rid of bad credit. And 3, we get rid of debt. Now before you turn this video off, I know what you're thinking. How in the heck am I supposed to do that, right? If you have bad credit and no one will give you any credit because your credit's so bad, how are you supposed to build good credit? Or, how in the heck do you get rid of bad credit legally? Or, how do you get rid of debt if you don't have any money to pay it off, right? Well, before I explain the very simple way to do these things, I want to make something very clear. Everybody's credit profile is different and unique. So the last thing you want to do is, after I teach you this information, is to go out and try it on your own. We have a computer program that we use to analyze your credit report free of charge that will tell you exactly what to do, because if you don't do things in the correct order, you can actually cause your credit score to go down, which is obviously the last thing we want. So the first thing we're going to cover is increasing your credit score by getting rid of debt. Now this is by far the easiest and quickest way to boost your credit score, and it applies to people with both good and bad credit. And the good thing is you don't even need a lot of money to make this work for you. So here's how it works. The credit bureaus really like it when you have a lot of available credit but don't actually use it. And they penalize you greatly when you do use it. Let me give you an example to make this a little more clear. Let's say, for example, you have 3 credit cards. One has a $500 credit limit, and the other 2 have a $1,000 credit limit. And let's say your smaller credit card of $500 is maxed out and you owe $500 on it, but the other 2 credit cards you owe nothing on. So you have $2,500 in available credit between these 3 credit cards, and you only owe $500. That's actually pretty good, you would think. But the way the credit bureaus look at it is 2 of your accounts are in good standing, but 1 of your accounts is completely maxed out, which is very, very bad, which completely destroys your credit score. You see, the credit bureaus want to see that you are using less than 50% of your available credit on any given credit card, and less than 30% is actually even better. So in this situation, what you'd probably want to do is have you transfer some of the balance from your $500 credit card to the other two credit cards with no balance on them. Now keep in mind, we can't just guess how much to transfer to the other credit cards. What works for you may not work the same for someone else in the same situation. That's why we provide this free credit analysis, because our computer program will tell us exactly how much to transfer. It could tell us to put an even balance on all three credit cards, or it could tell us to split it up between two credit cards, or any combination. We just don't know until we run the analysis. Now, if you're in a situation where all your credit cards are maxed out and you can't do transfer balances, or maybe you only have one credit card, in many cases we can have you pay just a couple $100s towards one particular credit card and see your credit score go up by as much as 30 or 40 points. I just had one client recently whose credit score was a 607, and we had him pay $212 towards a credit card, and his score jumped up to a 640 in only 10 days, which allowed him to get a better interest rate on his loan, which meant his monthly payment was going to be $52 a month less just because we paid down that one credit card. My average client buys a home for around $200,000. And if I can save you just 0.5% on the interest rate by getting your credit score higher, that's going to save you about $100 per month, which is about $1,200 per year. And on a 30-year loan, that's a total savings of $36,000. So don't take this lightly, because it can save you a ton of money. So next we're going to talk about how to build good credit to skyrocket your credit score. And this alone can increase your credit score up to 51 points in about 30 days. So let's cover the first part. How do you build good credit? Building good credit is actually very simple. The fastest and easiest way to do it is to open one secured credit card. Now, you don't want to open more than one credit card in most cases, because having too much new credit can actually cause your score to go down. Typically, opening a secured credit card is fairly easy, because the way it works is you send the bank $250 up front, and they send you a $250 credit card. And all you need is a card with $250. Paying for a higher credit limit doesn't actually help your credit score. And the good part is, once you buy your house, you can send the card back to the bank and get your $250 back. So there is no risk to the bank, because you're paying them up front for the credit card. However, even though there's no risk to the bank, if you have really bad credit, a lot of main banks like Wells Fargo or Bank of America or your local credit unions will still deny you for a secured credit card for some reason. However, there are a lot of banks that will give you a secured credit card regardless of your credit. And if you want to know which bank I refer all my clients to that will guarantee you get a credit card regardless of your credit, just give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to get you that info. So who needs to open a secured credit card? Well, typically you only need to open a secured credit card if you don't have any other open revolving debt in good standing. So simply put, if you have another credit card that's open, that you pay on time, and that has a low balance, then you're probably fine. But if you don't have any good credit cards open, then you may need to open a secured credit card. Now, if you notice, I said you may need to open a secured credit card. As I mentioned before, do not do anything until we run a free credit analysis for you. On about 3 out of 4 people, we see their credit scores increase from opening a secured credit card, but about 25% of the time, the person's credit score will go down from opening a secured credit card. And it's simply impossible to know just by looking at your credit report what's going to happen. And again, that's why we use this computer program, is because the algorithms that the credit bureaus use to determine your credit score are so complex that it's impossible for the human mind to really figure it out. So don't try to figure it out. Let our computer program do the figuring for you. So that's the second step, is establishing good credit by opening one secured credit card with a $250 limit. Now, the third and final step is getting rid of your bad credit. And this is the fun part. Most people that have bad credit tend to have at least a few collections or charge-offs on their credit report, and collections and charge-offs really hurt your credit score. Now, what most people do to get collections and charge-offs removed from their credit is they hire a credit repair company. You know, the problem with credit repair companies are, number one, they're expensive. I've seen some that are $1,500. But number two is half the time they don't work very well. And number three is, when they do work, it tends to take many, many months, if not years. So using a credit repair company is not the solution. There's actually a very simple, easy way to get collections and charge-offs removed from your credit that will skyrocket your credit score in only 60 days. Now, I'm not going to explain how to do this on this video because this video has already gone quite long. And even though it's easy to do this, it actually takes a long time to explain. So what I'm going to do is create a whole new video just on this topic. So to wrap this up, if you have bad credit, give me a call. I'll run a free credit analysis for you and show you step by step exactly what you need to do to boost your credit score. And if you do need to get some negative stuff removed from your credit report, I will show you a simple, brain dead easy way to get collections and charge-offs removed from your credit report in 60 days without doing credit repair. So if you're serious about buying a home, pick up the phone, give me a call, and let's get started. I look forward to talking to you soon.